There I go. There you go. Hi there. You're listening to Pacific Tequila Aficionado Media on all of our channels and platforms. I am Mike Morales here in the heartbeat of the San Gabriel Valley. That gentleman out there.
Rick Levy in the highlands of San Diego.
Because he's a high guy. Folks, ladies and gentlemen, we have a really interesting tequila that off camera, we tried to find information on it. There is very little information available on it, but let's show it to you. This is called Tequila Aguila Superior. And what makes this tequila special, first of all, the bottle might look a little familiar to you. It's reminiscent of another tequila that's out there with a similar bottle, but the graphics are beautiful. The stopper here is like a metal alloy of some sort, and yeah, it's a synthetic cork. And before we get into the ins and outs, okay, I think we should taste it first and then tell you where it comes from, because once we tell you where this is coming from, you're going to want to get it as soon as possible. And as far as we know, even Rick is like a snoop. His abilities of detection are flawless, and even he couldn't find information on this tequila except for maybe the Reposado, which we didn't get. Okay, we only got two types of Blancos. Okay, and we'll explain how that works. So first off, I think we're going to try the regular Blanco that they have. It's an 80 proof, 40 ABV. I'm going to use my handy dandy Stossel Jarrito, and so will Rick. And Rick demonstrates how he pours his. He does that really nicely. I am very. It's very dangerous for me to do this because it's right over my keyboard, and you don't know what alcohol does to a keyboard until you've actually spilled some on it. Wow,
I know what that does.
Yeah, I've spilled coffee on mine on occasion, but this is really pristine.
This
is very Chinese. As we like to say, it's our technical jargon for shiny. Wow, beautiful legs and tears. It's pristine, Rick. I mean, there's not much. It's
looking great so far.
Yeah, it looks it's as clear, and you might like I actually like the fact. In fact, I know that this bottle is around with other brands, but I really like how it fits this particular tequila. So, and I love their graphics as well. They kind of have that vodka bottle look. It's half frosted, half not. Right. So I'm going to go ahead and nominate this as a brand of promise just in the packaging. I really like this, and when I show you the brochure,
I really like the the engraved metal stoppers.
Yeah, that's
pretty slick.
That's slick. When you see the brochures and stuff, you'll understand why this is an exciting brand. Oh my!
The agave really comes up to meet you.
Yeah. And you know what? What I like is it's agave with some Blancos. The last time you and I were together, some Blancos have a much citrusy nose that comes right up to you. This one's toned down, and so it smells more fresh and green, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I'm more balanced. Let's put it that way.
Right.
Not that there's anything wrong with the citrus smell, because I love that. That I can smell that all day. I love it. That'd be great.
And I believe these agaves are from the valley.
Yeah, we'll get more into the details shortly. Like I said, once we tell you where this is coming from, every tequila nut and non-nut worth their salt is going to want this. because their names, the makers' names are already becoming very, very popular just with their own brands, and now this is a contract brand, which they hardly ever do. So number one, that tells you a small batch. Boy, I love this nose, man.
Yeah, it's really just, it's baked agave all the way through.
Yeah. And I don't sense any real alcohol too. I'm not getting a lot. Of course, to be fair, my bottle's been open and Rick just broke the seal on his.
I
So.
just broke the seal on mine, yeah. But no, it's not sharp at all.
Well, let's dive in. Salud.
All right.
Oh, oh,
Oh,
oh, that
great mouthfeel.
Yes.
Ooh,
Wow.
pepper explosion.
There's these are substantial legs and tears. I didn't make a big deal out of that, but this is a really, this is a beefy tequila, man.
Yeah.
That really just naturally coats your palate. I'm still sensing the citrus on my palate. I've already swallowed my sample. And it's just the retronasal. I can smell my own nose, man.
Yeah. I'm getting, it's pepper across the palate and just, lots of warmth all the way down.
Mm. Mm. Oh my God. Mm. Mm. Wow. Rick, this is my new Saturday Night Fang. Holy cow, man. This is fantastic. It's got that old school flavor, but it's very refined. Okay. Unfortunately, Rick,
it's delivering a big experience.
I sensed your pepper on the back of my palate, just like you said, but it goes in sweet and then it explodes at mid palate, but the citrus stays with you, which is I've not had that happen before. Now the finish, did you say it's like a medium to long finish?
Yeah.
Would you call that? Okay. Take a look at their we call it POS, this is point of sale material. That's just jargon for brochures. Okay, this is what they call a sell sheet. And sadly, Rick didn't get any. They also sent me a booklet. Okay, take a look at some of the. I don't know if you can see some of these pictures. They're beautiful, lifestyle pictures. I'm sure you can find them on Instagram right now. You should go look for them on Instagram and find out where they're being sold. I believe. You're watching this in 2021. We're, thank God 2020 is over with. But anyway, this is actually, we're actually in November of 2020 right now, and we're still quarantined in place. So I'm not sure if this tequila has already hit the market, but they have, they're telling us, if you can see the brochure here, they have the 4 different iterations, 4 expressions. And what we'll be tasting next is a Tahona version of the Blanco. Let me tell you, let me read this to you, because when I tell you where this is coming from, you're going to fall over. Rick, can you read the distillery number, the NOM number on the bottle?
Yeah, it is 1123.
All right, 1123. Those of you who are tequila nuts will understand this number. Here we go. This is Aguila Superior. The tequila Aguila Superior is made at the factory established in 1904 under the dream and management of Salvador Rosales Briceño, great-grandfather of tequila Aguila Superior, master tequilero Salvador Rosales Trejo. Salvador Rosales Trejo, if the name sounds familiar to you, for those of you who love Cascahuín, that's where this tequila is coming from. It's coming from that distillery. They make a handful of tequilas. If they make more than 5, I'll be shocked. And this is I guess it's their, I would imagine this is a another owner that seems to be well funded. Just from the photographs, look at that. You can see the different versions of the tequila. Of course, that could be Photoshop. We don't know anything else about these, but if you like Cascahuin, if you like Chimpanadas, Rick is so happy he's barking. If you like Siembra Valles from Siembra Azul, they're all these are made at the same distillery with Salvador Rosales. Those of you may have sat in on one of his speaking engagements with either Cascahuin or Siembra Azul. The distillery is gaining fame. Okay, we don't know if it's available. We don't know where it's available right now. Probably by the time you see this, you might be able to pinpoint. Might be able to get it someplace like in Old Town. This is spectacular Blanco. What else do I need to say about this distillery? You don't have a bottle of Cascahuin, do you? Anywhere?
I don't.
Okay. Let me see. It's in El Arenal. That's the location of the factory. 80% of the factory production comes from our own grown agave plants. The remaining 20% is used for mixto tequila variations. Oh, there you go. Okay. Let's see. The unique craftsmanship of Maestro Tequilero Salvador Rosales Trejo has been recognized as one of the best in the world and awarded with many, many medals. You guys know that, all right? I know that you know that. Let's see. Let me get into the process. Now, this Superior, the aroma is full of delicate floral tones and sweet citrus, which is true. It says there's a hint of caramel. I didn't get any of that, did you?
No.
Prior to its bottling, this distillate rests for up to 3 months in special containers to ensure a perfect blend of all of its elements. For those of you that know, some tequilas are, when we say rested, they're probably rested in stainless steel vats or tanks, and by and large, that does happen anywhere from. It depends on how quickly they need to make this, but I know, for instance, El Tesoro rests his Blanco. It's always the Blanco that rests in the stainless steel vat, and he lets it rest for 3 months. It usually softens the edges, it rounds it off. For those of you who've had still strength proof tequila, you understand it's vibrant, it's hot. The alcohol is right up your nose, and so even when it's toned down at 80 proof, you still have it's still agitated. And I know, for instance, David Searle once told me that when his shipments are finally trucked into certain locations like Philadelphia or whatever, where he has where the warehouse is, he likes to not to have it delivered or until it tends to rest after the delivery, because it gets agitated, it gets bounced around, and that kind of real good tequila tends to be very temperamental. So want to make sure it settles before you actually put it in something. We have no idea what a price point is. I have no MSRP, but I'm sold. Anything else you want to say, Rick? You want to add to this?
I'm still tasting that citrus on the palate. It didn't necessarily come to me right away because there was just that huge pepper experience, and then I think I was enjoying the agave, which was more predominant for me than the citrus. But then as the agave subsided, the citrus was emerging more, and it's still with me.
Once it opens up in your glass, by all means, use your favorite vessel to really dissect it and experience it. There's all kinds of. It's really interesting how complex this tequila is. This Blanco, even though initially it kind of feels one-sided, because I initially got the citrus, whereas you got the baked agave on the no. Now mine was open, so you got baked agave like right off the bat, and I began to sense the citrus which I hadn't really since I've opened the bottle. What I want to know is how they're using, what they're shredding their agave with, because the next one we're going to taste is their Blanco made with a Tahona. But I want to know, I don't think they're going to go into that amount of depth in this.
From what I was able to find some information on the Reposado, and it sounded like they were putting it twice through a roller shredder.
Okay, all right, well that makes sense. El Arenal, located in the Valle regions or lowlands, it's like right on the boundary between the lowlands and the highlands. You'll pass it on the way up. Is basically the way it works. No pesticides are ever used on the agave, but it's not certified organic. But I believe them. So it's as close to organic as you can get. And so as long as they run it through the shredder, I'll believe it. If you found that information, that's cool. Because I got even though it's a nice brochure, it's more about the pictures and very little about the copy, the text. And that's okay. That's all right. Here they are. Okay, here we go. Our process. We grow our own plants for 8 years, and it allows them to control the end-to-end quality of the product. For every pure liter of Aguila Superior, 8 kilograms of agave heart or piña is used. The piña is cooked in masonry ovens, like the ancestral tradition demands. It is a slower process compared to pressure steam, but perfection takes time between 24 and 48 hours. And the aged versions will be up to 3 years in French oak and American oak. We don't have those samples, so that tells us everything except the shredding process. So I'm glad you found that out, because it's the one thing that's missing.
I think they also said they're using natural yeasts.
Yeah,
that's the other bit of information I could find.
I think knowing what we know about Cascahuin, they do it all old school. So it's open air fermentation, natural.
I think their stills are stainless with copper coil.
Okay, all right, that's okay too. This is a stellar tequila. Do you agree with me? This is a Brand of Promise nominee right here.
Yeah,
Brand of Promise nominee. And that's our take. I think the best thing to do for us is to sign off and go get that Tahona and come back and see what we thought. So
yeah, we got a treat coming up with the Tahona.
Yeah. Well, I want to try and not drink all of my sample here and try to have a little bit of a side by side, maybe, just so we get. We can satisfy. We're just geeking out, folks. That's all we're doing. We're just geeking out. But that's our take on Aguila Superior tequila. This is the Blanco, and hey, go if you could find it by this point. When you see this in 2021, you'll probably be able to find it more readily. I'd like to thank Speakeasy Wines and Spirits for making this happen. Now, if they could just get us the rest of the, look at the bubbles. If they could just get us the rest of the line, I'd be extremely happy.
If you find pricing or locations, put it in the notes below the video.
Yes, please do. And again, follow us on all of our social platforms: Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. You can follow Rick too. I think he does a little bit of social media, not a whole lot, because he works for somebody else. But anyway, but you've been listening and watching Sipping Off the Cuff on Tequila Aficionado Media. Please subscribe wherever you're listening to us on podcast, and whatever you do, tomar sabiamente.
Sip wisely.